You're listening to The Breakfast Show with Ben and Liam. They're on your radio, and that's why you can't see them. So stay for a while, they're gonna make you smile. And whatever you do, don't touch that dial. You're feeling fine, waking up to the sunshine with Ben and Liam.
Ben, my mate's an electrician and he used a client's toilet over the weekend, which I don't think you're really supposed to do.
Well, no, I think it's fine. If you're over someone's house doing a job and you need to use the toilet, I would say that it'd be polite to ask. If they weren't around, I wouldn't blame you for
Look,
going.
I'd say it's polite to ask, but you'd probably only be doing half the job. My friend clogged the client's toilet.
Oh, God. If you're going to do it, don't clog the toilet.
So, yeah, that's what he had to do.
Really needed to go.
Just really needed to.
Worst part is if you're a sparky, you're not a plumber, you can't.
Well, that's the thing. He had to call my other friend who's a plumber to come around and fix his. I know. How awkward.
Was the owner home?
The owner was gone, so they think they got away with it.
Oh, okay.
But still.
It's pretty funny.
I think they had to let them know. Just so you know, I clogged your toilet, but it's all sorted now, so it's all good. It's that stress, though, isn't it? Like, you know, when you're a kid and maybe you're kicking a ball around. I did that once. I kicked a ball through like a mate's window, broke the window, and just so embarrassed.
What happened?
The mum had a bit of a spray at us, but
just kids playing.
Nah, just kids playing around. But you are, you try and be on your best behaviour, even as an adult when you're at someone else's house.
Yeah, breaking something at your own house is bad, let alone at someone else's house.
What did you break in someone else's house? Tom, did you break something in someone else's house?
Wasn't me. A mate of mine, close mate of mine, plumber, had himself an apprentice on the job a couple of years ago, and they went into one of the rooms that they were working in, and there was a gym set up, and they had an old exercise bike with the old fins with the resistance from the wind.
Yeah.
And, they're both banging on how good they were at riding push bikes. So he said, go on, then get on there and see what you can get it up to. So the apprentice gets on there and pedals like crazy to get this bike up to maximum speed.
Yeah.
And my mate turned around and said, I'll whip you, So apprentice gets off, mate gets on there. He's got legs like Mal Meninga, He gets on this bike and pedals like mad, drags the curtain straight off into the front wheel of the bike. As the curtain's wrapped around the front wheel and the chain, he's gone straight over the handlebars and smashed his head through the wall, through the gyprock wall. And, so that was obviously, when he was telling us the story, I was just cacking myself very, very funny. So they sort of pushed the helmet and the curtain back up on the wall and tried to patch everything. There was grease all over the curtain. So
did they get away with it, Tom? Did they get away with it, or did the owner know about it?
I don't exactly know, to be honest with you. I don't know whether the owner, but there was grease all over the curtain, so they sort of wrapped that around the back and sort of tucked it in against the wall a bit.
Yeah. Just hide it. I mean,
that sounds like Mr. Bean.
That's like you've ruined the bike, the curtain, and the wall, all in one swift motion. Chantel joins us now. Did you break something in someone else's house?
Yes, me and my sister, and then my other family friend and her sister, we were using the exercise ball, and then we were both holding it in front of each other and then running up and bouncing each other.
Good
which is a funny thing to do.
Yep.
I can remember doing that to my cousin who was about 7 at the time, and I was probably 15. And I yeeted him into the ground, and I didn't quite know my power.
And then you just literally fly, and then anyway, one of us flew and then smashed into their dad's big trophy cabinet with heaps of trophies and glassware, and it literally tumbled over and smashed on the floor.
Oh, wow.
No.
All Dad's prized possessions. And surely, I reckon you guys would have been making a little bit of a ruckus, a bit of a noise, if you're giggling and running into each other, smashing the balls. I'm sure the parents are already annoyed by the point that it goes south.
And surely when that happens, you just want to curl up into a little ball and disappear. What happened, Chantel?
Well, we all just looked at each other with our mouths wide open and we're like, oh, my God. And then when he walked upstairs, and I think we just said, I don't know what happened. It just kind of, fell. And then at her 21st, we said that we were using the exercise ball and smashed it. Sorry.
Oh.
And then he said, everyone out of here. Ben, you quite often pay me out for the size of my nose.
Yes.
You actually passed a few comments about it yesterday.
Ben, if Liam was a Mr. Men character from the old books, which one do you think he would be?
Mr. Nosy.
Are you saying I have a big nose or I pry into people's business?
First one.
Yeah, I thought so.
Well, Liam, you're trimming down, you're shedding the kgs.
Yeah.
So I've got to find something else
to pick apart on my body. Yeah, no, that's totally fair. I get that. You got to bully me somehow. Well, maybe you won't bully me anymore because a study has come out saying that men with big noses have larger willies.
Oh, yeah?
It's a scientific study, completely legit, right? Experts in Kyoto, Japan have studied over 126 men, a very large sample size. And, supposedly it's all down to exposure in the womb to hormones called androgens. So... huge honker, big plonker. That's what their report's called. And maybe Basil Zemplis is in the wrong business. Look out, Basil's in. Did someone order a pizza? That's why they made him the Lord Mayor of Perth.
Get the jump on summer and check out whatif.com for amazing getaways. Aussies just know how to summer. It's in our DNA.
Bring it on. Book your accommodation, flights, car hire and more all on the What If app.
What If? It's Aussie for travel.
We are joined in the studio by Mark Muscat. You may know his work online as the Magpie Man. He's very good at doing a magpie impression. We're stoked. We love having you in, Mark. We're very impressed. Do you ever have people come up to you and say, you know what, mate, I think I can do better?
I've seen it on TikTok.
Yeah, some people clap back.
Yeah, it doesn't sound very good.
Because producer Belle, we've taken her out of the rap booth this morning. She is that person. Now you're face to face with Mark, but you don't think it's that impressive, do you?
No, okay, let's not say that.
That's what you said on Friday. That's what you said.
No, because I was watching your videos, Mark, and I was like, that's good, but I could see how you do it. And I was like, all right, well, yeah, like I could probably see. Yeah.
Well, my question is, how do you do it? Because I've tried off air. I can't do it to save my life. How do you make the magpie sound?
Yeah, well, you've got to do it from your throat. So it's... and then you've got to mix it together.
It's never not funny.
So it's like screaming from the back of your throat.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you, because Belle, I feel like you do it more with your lips. Is that fair?
I don't know.
Well, the thing is, Belle, you gave it a crack on Friday. Ben and I were actually pretty blown away. We thought, wow, this is pretty good. So this is why we had to get Mark into the studio to have a magpie off. So I think the best way to do this, we've had some people called up. We've got Karina, Emma and Courtney. They're waiting on the line. They can listen to all of this. I think we do it anonymously. So we say, first contestant, go. Second contestant, go. Then we go to the phone lines. We see who won. So that way there's no bias.
Okay, so it'll be a blind listening, okay? Let's go magpie number 1, magpie number 2.
Okay, all right. Magpie number 1, can we hear your impression?
Okay.
Quite good. It's quite good.
Magpie number 2. Okay.
Pretty good.
Pretty good as well, not bad.
Pretty good.
Okay.
Pretty good. Karina, what magpie do you think was better?
Well, I think they're both pitch perfect. But magpie number 2, I think, has a little bit of seed stuck in its throat. So I'm going magpie number 1.
Okay, that's a vote for magpie number 1.
Okay. Emma, you just heard the magpie off between Mark and producer Belle. What do you think was better, 1 or 2?
Well, I think number 1 has had many more practice than number 2, which I think is probably a slight disadvantage. I'm going for number 1, so I think number 2 was pretty brilliant.
It's pretty good too. Okay. So, I mean, do we need to speak to Courtney?
Well, we might as well see if it's a clean sweep. Courtney, which magpie do you prefer, number 1 or number 2?
Definitely number 1. It sounds exactly like the magpie that wakes me at 4 a.m. every morning.
You could be neighbours with Mark because that is the Magpie Man. It's a clean sweep. 3 votes for Mark. Give us another one to celebrate. It sounds like there's a bird in the studio. He's still going. I'm loving this.
It's a man.
It's a man that sounds like a magpie. Big win for Mark. You did well, Belle. It's a good effort. It's a good effort. Ben, you'd know this, but my garage was flooded at the end of last year.
Yeah, I've been following this story pretty closely. I'm excited for an update because, it got flooded.
Yeah.
There's a lot of water damage and needed major repairs.
Still not fixed. So these builders signed a contract for it to do this like about 6 months ago. And look, they're great guys.
Yep.
But there's been minimal communication since they've done one day's work on it.
Right.
And
So they rocked up, they did a bit of work.
They did a bit of work and then just radio silence.
Yeah.
And it's like not finished. There's no plasterboard in my garage. There's like mouldy wood.
Yep.
Look, the fact that it's in the garage, I'm kind of like, whatever. Like, it's
Yeah.
not like it's going to collapse in on us while we're sleeping
Yeah.
at night.
Yeah.
But it's still something you want to get fixed. And
Yep.
it's not a cheap job. And
Sorry, just side question. Did insurance end up covering it?
insurance covered like half of it.
Okay.
Because they always find a way to weasel out of it, don't they? These
Yeah.
bloody...
Name them.
yeah.
Which insurance did you use?
No, unless, of course, they are one of our valued clients here at Nova. But yeah, look, so I know things are sort of busy in the industry at the moment, and it's hard to get the products for whatever. I don't know. This is a lot of the stuff I'm being served.
Come on, don't sugarcoat it. Just come fix Liam's wall.
Well, that's it. And look, I'm also saying this because I know they probably could be listening at the moment. I know some of them listen, but my patience is wearing thin because it's getting pretty late in the piece now, isn't it?
Your patience is worn so thin that rather than say something to their face, you're going to talk about it on the radio.
No, well, that's the thing. Yesterday, I snapped and I thought, heck, I'm going to man up. I'm going to call the builder myself.
Yeah.
Because they've not been getting back to the emails.
Yeah.
I'm going to give him a howler. I'm going to give him my first howler.
You don't email a builder. They're not checking their emails.
Well, I don't know. That's how I do business. So I thought, heck, I'm going to bloody give this guy a piece of my mind. Because it is a bit ridiculous. So I called him and I said, Gary, it's Liam here, mate. What's going on?
Yeah.
There's been no communication.
Yeah.
We got no bloody plasterboard on our garage. There's mouldy wood in here. I haven't heard a thing from you.
Good.
We paid you for the works. What's going on, mate? I demand a bit of an explanation here.
Yeah.
I'm getting hot and heavy. I'm thinking I'm killing this.
Yeah.
I'm really like,
Yeah.
I've got him. I've got him backed into a corner. He was just quiet the whole time.
Yeah.
And then he told me at the end that he'd already emailed Sarah all the details the day before, and she just forgot to tell me that.
Oh, so they do use email.
They do use email, and so she just forgot to tell me that, and then I wasted my first howler ever on nothing because turns out, everything's sorted. They just had to get a few materials in, and the job will be finished next week.
Liam, I know that you more than anyone love a good Murray story.
Yeah, Murray, salt of the earth. He crushes rocks not for a living, just as a hobby.
Yeah,
and
he's got a lot of rocks, I guess, and then he crushes them, and then he sells the rubble. Kind of a side gig.
How many sheds has he got now?
Oh, he built a new one recently. It'd be in the tens.
The last time we spoke to him on the show, I was saying how I've got some paint tins that I don't know how to get rid of because I'm sure you're not allowed to put them in a bin, so I'm pretty sure you have to contact the government and they send out a helicopter to destroy it properly. And he said, give them to me. I've got another way of getting rid of them.
He's my dad, by the way.
Not
some random guy.
He's not just this guy called Murray. It's Ben's dad.
Murray is my dad.
Murray Harvey.
And I would like to give the following, just a small content warning if you're a bit squeamish.
What's he done?
He's done something. I had a bunch of missed calls yesterday from my sister while I was at work. I don't know if you remember, about 1 p.m. I walked out of the office to take a call because I was like, she's called me 3 times. What is going on? I thought either someone's probably died. That's kind of the feeling you get when you've got 3 missed calls. Yeah. Called her back and she said, Dad's okay, but he's on the way to the hospital.
Rock crusher incident, was it?
It actually was.
It was? No way.
I said, why? What happened? And she said, he got his hand stuck in the rock crusher. And if this machine that he's built to crush rocks gets to your hand, it's going to do some damage.
Why was his hand anywhere near the crushing
I think
bit?
something, I don't actually know. I think something was stuck in there or he was trying to fix something. It must have been running, though, while he did it.
Yeah, right.
So he got his hand stuck in the rock crusher. And then I called him after I got off the phone to Bianca, my sister, and he said he was driving to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital because the Lyle Mac said they didn't have the plastic surgeons to put it all back together again.
Hang on, he was driving?
I said, why are you driving? And he said, he didn't crush both my hands.
He doesn't drive a manual, thank God. Flopping around this bloody stump on the gear stick.
Supposedly, the doctor reckons the only reason he didn't lose his pointing finger on his right hand, and he is right-handed, was because he had work gloves on. It kind of held it all together.
Oh! Did he take the glove off to check?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I haven't spoken to him since that phone call.
That's an ambulance job, isn't it?
Oh,
and I know it's an expensive one out to Lower Light.
You know he wasn't doing that. He would have got in the beat-up Commodore, Mum would have jumped in the car with him and then they drove
To
to
be
the
honest,
hospital.
that's actually a big step for him going to a hospital.
It is, yeah.
Because the guy I know would go Rambo style and just put it in a hot pit of fire.
I remember when I was a kid.
Singe the wound
I remember
off.
when I was a kid, he cut his leg down to the white part of the bone with an angle grinder. Came inside, asked Mum for a tea towel, and then tied it up with a tea towel, and then went out and finished the job. Hey, but here's the thing, Murray, my dad, he's not the only tough dad out there.
He's a tough dad.
Dads, they're tough. Have you got one? 13 24 10. Give us a buzz, or you can text us 0400 919 919.
Katie from Paringa, you have a tough dad yourself?
Yeah, I do.
What happened?
He's an obsessive gardener and he gets out with his weed spray every now and then
Mm-hmm.
and he has been swooped by the same magpie over and over and every time it hits him it draws blood on his head but he insists that he needs to get out and do his weeding.
Right. He just lets it be. I mean, just let nature do what it's there for.
I thought he was going to try and get it with the weed spray.
I thought it was where it was going, and I'm glad you faded Katie down just before the RSPCA contacted us. Mark from Prospect, tell us about your tough dad.
Yeah, tough dad, all right. Rusky, he's a mechanic by trade, but one day we're doing some renovations at home.
Yeah.
We are lifting a steel beam, and the tendon that holds the bicep to the shoulder bone area, the tendon's detached, and his bicep has dropped.
Hey, hang on. He was trying to lift. You got a bad phone line, Mark. He was trying to lift the steel bar, and it ripped off his muscle.
Yeah, steel beam. Yeah, and the tendon's detached from the bone.
I mean, did he get the bar up there though, or did he stop after that?
Got the bar up. Of course, he got the bar up.
Of course, he got the bar up.
Of course, he got that bloody bar up. I didn't tear my bicep off the bone not to get that bar up.
We're singing about suburbs all around Adelaide. We're singing about suburbs. We do it every Tuesday.
Always feel free to nominate your suburb, 0400 919 919. You can do so on Instagram as well. We've got one here from Amelia, though, also on the Ben and Liam Instagram. She said, guys, you got to do URAIDLA. And URAIDLA is one of those interesting suburbs. It's in the hills. I didn't know anything about it. Like, I'd never even heard of it until, like, a year ago.
Yeah.
And then I bought my car there. Like it was a second-hand car. I went to a wedding, and then like a few weeks later, my barber proposed there, and I'm like, I'm hearing a lot about URAIDLA, and so I went down to the pub there because they got the beer.
They've got the famous
URAIDLA,
beer.
and it's like on a lot of taps now around South Australia. It's really good.
That's the main thing that I know about URAIDLA.
Yeah, it's got like a microbrewery there.
Yeah.
But I think it's safe to say I know more about it because I've been there like a lot in the last year.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to really take this suburb song if you want, unless you want to come in with me.
I'm always happy to take a back seat if you want to take the lead.
Yeah, well, maybe you could come in for some choir parts later because this is like it's a slower one, but it's a deep one. Okay?
Right, so it's safe to say you have a song in mind.
Yeah, I've got a song in mind. I think it's really going to test my vocal range, which is going to be impressive for a lot of people. So I'm thinking a little something like this, okay? You feel me?
I feel you.
Yeah. It's for URAIDLA.
Okay, here we go.
When I was young, I didn't know about this suburb. But then I found a car on carsales.com. The initial meetup was in this suburb. I bought the car, a second-hand Tiguan. URAIDLA, it's in Adelaide's foothills. URAIDLA, big properties close to town. The roads are really bloody windy. URAIDLA, they have their own beer.
Hey, Liam.
Yeah, Yeah, Ben.
This is going really well so far.
I think so too, yeah.
But that's like a super personal experience.
About me buying my car in URAIDLA.
Yeah. Do you want to broaden it out a little bit to stuff everyone can relate to, like the URAIDLA pub?
Yes.
Maybe the veggie patch out the back?
I suppose that's the real strength of suburb songs.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah, okay. Hey, what about this?
Rating dropped to 3.
All the pie meat in the Uber.
Oh, gross. Also, you're not really listening to what I'm saying. These are all super duper personal.
I hear you loud and clear. I'm going to bring it home strong with a nice, relatable one.
Okay. Is it about your barber getting engaged there?
Yes.
Couple, URAIDLA, so many memories. URAIDLA, I bought my Tiguan.
We are joined now by a literal rat.
Love rat, there's a love rat. Love rat, there's a love rat.
A rat that we have trained up to speak, Liam.
Yes, about love and relationships.
Oh,
it's producer
thank you,
Belle.
kind sirs.
Good morning.
Your English has gotten so good, rat.
We will give you another slice of cheese after the show.
Oh, thank you so much.
You can email the Love Rat at novafm.com.au anytime you want. This one's from Kirsty. She said, Love Rat, what's up? My hubby Jason and I are celebrating our 5-year wedding anniversary over the weekend. He said we should recreate our first date to celebrate. I said no because it sucked. I thought you'd find this funny, guys. We went to Subway and then finished things up at the drive-in cinema. His radio didn't work, and he didn't realise you needed that to hear the movie. So we just had the windows down and tried to hear through other people's cars. Lol.
That's cute.
So in that recreation, would you then have to
I
get
don't know.
a new car with a radio that doesn't work?
Yeah, you have to rip the radio out, I suppose.
Turn the radio
and then
off.
just get a footlong before.
Hey, getting in early here, 13 24 10. Give us a buzz. Worst first dates. My fiance Sam hates our first date because we went to the movies to see Ant-Man. That part pretty good, but
What is it?
her recollection was I was on my phone the entire time
and I
playing
was
Clash of
not
Clans.
I was
Surprising.
friends with you at the time, and that sounds about right. Considering
Yeah.
you're on your phone most of the time now playing games. Producer Belle, what's your worst?
Oh, a few years ago, I went on a date with a guy, and he took me to one of those like pool bars, like the bars that are just all pool tables.
Yeah.
And
Oh, right. I thought you meant like one of those
Like a
fancy
water-
ones with I'm like, oh, they're really nice. Yeah,
no, it was just all pool tables.
Yeah, yeah.
And we were there for literally like 3 hours, and he just kept beating me by a mile. And then he was like, oh, and like kind of showing off. But by hour 2, I was like, probably done. And then,
just thrashing
Just
you
smoking
at his
you.
own game.
but then I
Yes,
tried to-
number 10. Love it.
Woo! Got that. You got to stick with me. You're going to get a little bit better than that.
But the worst thing was, I thought, oh, okay, I'll let him pass, whatever. And then at the end, we were just making small talk, and he revealed to me that he's against brushing his teeth, and he didn't believe in brushing your
What?
teeth.
That
And then he
sounds
tried
terrible.
to kiss me, and I did the whole dodge, and then went, yeah, it's probably good.
That is going to be very hard to beat. 13 24 10, worst first date.
There can be bad dates that are actually bad, but then there's bad that don't go to plan, and that's kind of memorable.
I had a date once once with car troubles. The car, my 98 Laser, broke down on the way to the movies, and we missed the film, and then the girl's mum just picked her up. And we said we'd reschedule, but we never did, which is fair.
See, that's just a bad one.
Well, she might call up right now. Who knows? On the text line, someone said, worst first date, he brought his parents with him. We were 25 years old. They paid for the meal, though, so that was a positive.
What a win. Hey, I just thought we'd, just meet the whole family. Just on the off the bat. David, worst first date, what happened?
My now wife asked her out on our first date. I ended up getting Ross on to work that night and didn't actually tell her. So she found out when I drove through the drive-thru to get some food before I started on my shift.
So she was in the car with you?
No, she was working the drive-thru. She was meant to finish before our date. And I just went through to grab some food and said, oh, yeah, by the way, I'm working tonight.
Oh, right. So she was serving you.
I thought you were at work serving her at the drive-thru.
Yeah.
I see.
She was like, I'm going to finish this 10-hour shift of handing people burgers and then can't wait for my date. I've brought my clothes to get ready. And you go, oh, do you remember my chips? Also, I'm not coming tonight, by the way. But then you got married. I don't know how that happened.
See, that's the thing. They got married, and you would say fate brought them together by her working there and him coming through that drive-thru. Meant to be.
Maybe.
Tracy joins us. Worst first date.
Yes, hi. I went on a date with an American Air Force guy to the drive-ins, actually, as well, and we were sitting there watching the drive-in. He turns to me and says, have you ever killed anybody?
Footage has emerged of this guy. This guy, Sebastian, swearing at some young fans, and I just want to say, fair game, I reckon. That you only see a little bit of the video, and I think they're provoking Guy. They want a reaction.
I haven't seen the footage myself yet, Liam. You're about to play a bit for us, which I'm keen to hear, but we've met Guy Sebastian. You could say he's an angel. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'm kind of in your camp. Without actually knowing what happened, I do find it hard to believe that he was a nasty person.
We've met Mr. and Mrs. Sebastian and all of his brothers. Remember that? Before the Red Room, we had a good chat with them. That being said, obviously, as soon as I saw this story, I was like, I got to see this. So we've got it's pretty hard to hear, but here's a little bit of it here.
Calm down. Being nice to you. He's a kid. Calm down. Yeah, I was a kid once. I was a kid.
He walked over and he said, I was being effing nice to you. No, he's a kid. Chill out. And he said, yeah, I was a kid once. I wasn't an F-wit.
So true. Well, so true.
Because obviously they were calling something out to him, and he's in the public eye, so he'd always be copping this. But you know what? He's come out and he said, look, that being said, I shouldn't have sworn. I apologise for that, and I think fair enough, Guy.
That sucks, though, to be in Guy's situation where he now has to come out and go, I'm sorry, I swore at a kid. No, Guy, you don't have to apologise. Those kids will be in little a-holes. They provoke
F-wits, if you ask Guy.
F-wits, yeah.
Why don't we do this? 13-24-10. Did you meet an angry celeb? We're joined now by Helena. We've asked if you've met any angry celebs. Who have you met?
I actually met Guy Sebastian.
Oh, no. We've been saying he was a good guy.
We are big Guy Sebastian fans, so Helena, please tell us what happened.
Well, I thought, he was a good guy too, but back when I was maybe 13 or 14, I was a bit of a fangirl, and I spotted him out, and I asked for an autograph and a photo, and he just completely blew me off, didn't even look at me. I think he may have got one of his staff or whoever he was with just to, say, no, he's not interested. He didn't speak to me himself.
Oh. Are you sure it was him? Because that doesn't sound like Guy.
I don't think Guy Sebastian would be walking around with staff. You know what I mean? He's the kind of guy where he would just be walking around.
Maybe it wasn't staff. Maybe it was a couple of people who was with. But it was when I was 14 or 13, and I was with my friends, so we were a bit fangirlish.
Yeah.
And he just ignored me, and I was pretty sad because I went to his concert the year before, and I got his autograph and photos and everything.
Well, maybe he remembered you and he said, no double dipping. Get out of here, Helena.
He was just having a bad day.
Yeah, maybe. Benefit of the doubt. Leanne.
Hi, Ben and Leanne.
G'day. You've met an angry celebrity.
I certainly have. I met Shannon Knoll when he first was runner-up in the competition.
Yep.
And it was at a star party, and he just thought that he was above everybody else, and at a star party you're supposed to mingle, but he thought he was too good for that. And also there was Axel Whitehead. He was performing as well.
Oh, yes. Axel Whitehead, who famously got his little Axel Whitehead out on the ARIA stage. I think to be fair, to corroborate your stories, there has been some articles about Nolsey over the years and about
Leanne,
Axel Whitehead. I feel like, yeah.
Leanne, you said it was at your workplace.
No. It wasn't my workplace. It was at a star party, you know, like where you meet all the celebrities.
Oh, I thought you said staff party.
Do you pay for a ticket to meet the stars? Is that how it works?
No. I shouldn't say this. It was another radio station competition.
Oh, bloody hell, Leanne. What the heck? Big get for them getting Axel Whitehead. And I don't do surprises. That was only last year as well that you went to that party. Good stuff. 13 24 10. What's the grossest thing you do for your partner? Chris Pratt from Guardians of the Galaxy and the more recent Jurassic World films.
Yes.
Has posted a little love tribute on his anniversary. He's with Katherine Schwarzenegger, who's the daughter of Arnold.
Yeah.
And the first photo he's gone with is just her clipping his toenails.
I saw that photo last night.
Yeah.
Very gross.
You know you've done well in life when a Schwarzenegger's cutting your nails.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they don't cut nails for anyone.
Yep.
I don't even think they would cut their own nails.
Yep.
But, I don't know. She looks like she's enjoying it.
Yeah. I don't think she's doing it against her will.
No.
Yeah.
It looks like a fun thing.
Yeah.
But pretty crook.
Yeah.
And I suppose they've been married for a little bit now, 3 years, so that's cute.
Have they been together for 3 years?
Yeah. My parents have been together for over 30 years, and I remember when I was living interstate, I came back and stayed with them one weekend, and I walked into the bathroom unannounced. I forgot what it was like to live in a house with family, and my mum was just beating my dad's entire body.
Gross.
Sorry.
Is that to take the
Just
hair
thinking
off?
about, yeah. Well, yeah, it's like a hair removal cream.
So your dad, Tom, was totally hairless from the shoulders down?
It was just, yeah, I mean, it's just, you know how like some dads get so hairy that their arm hair, head hair links into their like shoulder and back and chest, and it's just everywhere.
So your dad's hairless? You've got a hairless dad?
Not completely. I mean, like he had his jocks on when this was happening. And
Right.
I actually thought that was foul. But now I've sort of grown up a bit and I realise that's a beautiful thing. I mean, I've been with my partner for 3 years and, yeah, I'm not ashamed to admit, she shaves my back and the back of my neck. It's something that she decides, like she goes, it's about time. It's that time again.
Yeah.
And I can't reach it, you know, especially around the back. I can't see what's going on.
Yeah.
So,
in the shower?
Yeah, in the shower. So it's what I do is I do it right before the shower. So most of the time I'm nude.
Yep.
I sort of have to.
Thanks for the visual.
Sort of cup the genitalia because I don't want to be rude, and I'm sort of hunching over.
Yep.
Like an animal. I feel very vulnerable because it's weird. You know, when you're in the shower and the water's on, it's all good. Mm-hmm. But when you're just standing there naked and it's a bit cold, you don't feel good. So I bend right over, and then she just sort of starts on the neck and shaves down the
gross. What is the grossest thing you do for your partner? Maybe it's cutting their toenails. Maybe it's shaving their back like an animal. 13 24 10. Give us a buzz. Are you? Is it yeeting? What's it called?
Veeting. Yeeting is a term used by kids on TikTok when, you make a sick shot or punch someone or something like that. Throw something really far. Veet is the hair removal cream.
Give us a buzz, 13 24 10. Grossest thing you do for your partner.
Sheridan, what do you do for your partner?
Good morning. Yes, I cut my partner's toenails very reluctantly. We've been together for 5 years.
You're doing the Chris Pratt. So
when you say reluctantly, is that because he wants you to do it?
Yeah, well, he'll always complain that his toenails hurt or something like that, and then he'll try and cut them and it just won't be satisfied, so I have to get in there and do it.
Yeah, right.
And it's Sheridan, go to...
Yeah, I mean, surely, he's capable of cutting his own toenails.
Can he not reach his feet?
You know, he can reach his feet.
Right.
I think you should take him out for a pedicure one
day.
Yeah. Treat him a little bit.
Thank you so much for your call. How's this one? My husband had terrible food poisoning and I had to clean up the bathroom after he made an absolute mess of it.
Clean your own bathroom when you've got the food poisoning.
Gross.
God damn. Kylie, what's the grossest thing you do for your partner?
Good morning, guys. I clean his ears.
Oh,
That's a very
intimate thing.
Yeah, you can clean your own ears for sure.
What again? Do you want to do it for him, or does he want you to do it?
He kind of just wants me to do it.
Yeah, right. I mean, clean your own ears out, mate. Come on, get the earbud.
Sounds like a bit of a like a kink or something like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Ben, I was absolutely rocked when I found out about this. Like, I almost, my jaw hit the ground. Producer Belle, you're 27, and you informed us that you have booked in your wedding venue?
Yes.
You're not engaged?
Nope.
You have not proposed, and your partner Luke has not proposed to you?
Nope.
Not even just the wedding venue. You've booked in a date.
Yes.
When's the date?
The 23rd of November to 2024.
That's not that far away.
But it's a nice date, 231124.
That
23, 24.
is crazy. I didn't realise I was working with Niles Barkley. That is bad.
Organised.
You know, that is like, I don't know if that's organisation or like
that's Ava Max Psycho.
Do you know what I mean? Like I proposed last year. We're getting married like next year. The date's all locked in. But I feel like if my fiance now, Sarah, said, by the way, I booked in a wedding venue, and before I proposed, I'd go, what? I'd go, hey?
Okay.
Like, I'd be having serious thoughts about whether that's something I wanted to do in the future.
Not look at it. I guess it's booking, but I've penciled it in. You know, like I've buzzed that date at the venue, which, may I say, is a beautiful place to get married. It is a property that my family owns, and we've had
one of the many.
We've had a handful of weddings there, and I was just getting a bit nervous that someone might take that date, and someone will book a wedding.
Well, yeah, because of course, someone might propose or get engaged before. So I suppose you want to just jump the gun a little bit.
Doesn't that put like tons of awkward pressure now on your partner Luke, who's like, well, she's already booked in a date for the wedding. I haven't proposed yet.
He was there when I did it. Like he was there when I was having the conversation, and he didn't say anything. But he didn't say
because he thought he was psycho a little bit. It's coming on a little too strong for me. I think that's what it is. And
it's
look,
freaking me out.
Maybe, and I don't know. Maybe
I like to be organised. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's weirder than that. If you've been in a relationship, or maybe you didn't even get to that stage, but they were just coming on way too strong.
Yeah.
I don't even think we're going to get to the level of they booked in the wedding venue before we were engaged. But 132410. Would love to hear your story. If you get in touch as well, you will be in the draw for Nova's first class and 50K. Were they coming on just a little too strong?
Danny joins us now. Were they coming on a little too strong?
Yes, he was. It was before I got married, so it's quite some time back now, but I went on a date with a guy, and the first date he took me home to his parents' house. And not only was his parents there, it was his grandparents and his cousins. The whole family was there, and it gets worse because he was Portuguese and I was very much Australian, didn't speak any Portuguese at all.
Yeah.
The grandmother renamed me. I got called Eva, and they didn't speak any English at all at the table.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God!
So you were rebranded on the first date. You were given a whole different name and identity entirely.
Was that the only date he ever got? Did you just run for the hills after that?
Yes.
But not before he proposed. Before he dropped you back off at home. Well, we may as well make it official, Eva.
Yeah, that is certainly coming on too strong.
My goodness.
Ooh.
And we are joined now by your Saturday morning breakfast host, Jodie Oddie. G'day, Jode.
G'day. It's been a weird week. So I covered a court case during the week. I won't say what it is because I don't want to upset anybody. But there was a guy who was supporting the accused, and he was really mouthy. And he got so mouthy that he got in trouble from the judge because he called one of the prosecution witnesses a shithead.
Which seems like one of those things that it's just you're just so frustrated that it comes out. That doesn't seem like a calculated insult to call someone.
And so the judge said, I'm not going to kick you out of my courtroom, but if you do it again, there'll be some sort of contempt charge. Okay. So I was pretty wary of this guy. I went up to check on this case and see how it was going. So upstairs I go at the Magistrates Court in Adelaide, which is a really interesting place, by the way. And I walked past and he eyeballed me and he goes, just another piece of shh from the media. I said, great. I said, what did you say to me? And he goes on, I was just talking to her, the accused. I'm like, nice company you're keeping, by the way. And I said, mate, aren't you on thin ice?
Yeah.
And he didn't reply to that. But it's interesting, the jobs that cop it when you don't necessarily deserve it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I wonder if working as a journalist for Channel 10, you cop more abuse than other jobs, or is it the same amount? I'd be curious this morning to maybe explore what job in Adelaide cops the most verbal abuse.
It's a really good question.
Yeah.
Rachel's giving us a buzz. What do you do, Rach?
I work in administration in a primary school.
Oh,
No.
right. And
Really?
People
No.
are abusing you in that role?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Parents?
Rach.
It can just be anything. So we might have something that we've advertised for like 2 months, and then people go, are you really? Is it really photo day today? No one told me. And it's like, read the newsletter. Every week, and no one reads it.
Yeah. I'm printing this thing off. I'm sending it out.
Yeah.
Just narky school mums.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That'd be a bit to deal with, Rach. I wouldn't have picked that though.
No.
Didn't know you were copying it in that role.
It does sound bad, but I think it's going to be hard to go past the final call we have from Ava. Good morning. What do you do, Ava?
So I'm an inspector for one of the councils in Adelaide. Predominantly we do parking, but we do a lot of things within our job. We've gone from, you get your smarky, comments of go get a real job, can't believe you're putting a fine on the car.
Yeah.
To people being right up in your face, sitting in your face, they will just keep going. So you can smell their breath, you can smell their BO. To the
You
point
find them
of
for
some
that?
of them-
Yeah.
Look, there is limitations on what we can and can't fine for, but yes, there is within a couple of the acts, there is a bit of things that we can push a little bit further if we really want to. You learn to ignore it. Look, I take my hat out to all the inspectors out there because it takes a special someone to do the job.
Yeah.
But definitely what we cop and what our customer service centre cop from some people is a little bit outrageous.
Well,
So,
Ava, look,
yeah.
the best thing about our job is we get to put people like you in the draw for 10K a day in May. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
You too.
I feel like so bad for, never to their face, but cussing ticket inspectors out behind their back now. 'Cause I'm like, they're human too. She seemed like a lovely woman.
She seems lovely. I don't think she'll be a popular winner of the 10K.
No, that is
Yeah, I think
true.
you're right.
And still being said, if I get a fine in the next couple of weeks, I'm still going to curse them. 13 24 10. Who's your partner got the hots for? Does Sam like anyone other than you, Ben?
Oh, yeah, she tells me all the time. Loves Charlie Dixon.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
Big fan of Rashid Khan,
Oh, yeah, also fair.
the TAFE teacher.
Not,
Bit of a worry, the last one.
Not as fair. Well, I mean, I've got a bigger problem than you, I think, because Sarah's got it bad for 50 Cent. It's extremely
50 Cent.
concerning. Because in no world can I pass as Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. I don't want to take, him taking her to the candy shop.
Is he a good-looking guy?
Well, she seems to think so. And he's a bit of a god amongst men because he was literally shot 9 times and he's still popping boob into club.
Is that why she likes him? Maybe because he
such
could,
a man.
protect her?
Yeah, because someone could try and shoot her 9 times and he would catch every bullet and still manage to beat the guy up.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've started wearing a bulletproof vest for dinner to try and get her in the mood. And do-rags under baseball caps.
How's it going?
Not good. Not good. She also really likes Paul Rudd, which is a very different... So at least I'm closer to Paul Rudd.
What is it with Paul Rudd? Because Sam also loves Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
She's obsessed. She
Seems
adores
like a
him.
trustworthy guy, I suppose,
yeah.
doesn't he? It doesn't seem like he'd hurt you. And he's got very thick hair.
He's not very Hollywood, is he?
No.
He's not very Hollywood.
kind of just... And she
Yeah.
also likes Steve-O, which is also...
that's
yeah,
a
I
weird
know.
one.
Strange. She's into Bad Boys, I think.
I think so.
Who's your partner got the hots for? 13 24 10. Give us a buzz there.
Josh has done just that. Who's your partner got the hots for, Josh?
Morning, lads. My wife's got the hots for Dean Winchester, the main character from Supernatural. She'd watch it every day of the week if she could.
Yeah. No, you wouldn't be alone there. A lot of people like Hunky Dean.
Have
don't they?
you put a ban on it in the house?
Oh, look, every time I try and see it, I make a comment or there's an arrangement. We have to do something else for sure.
Yeah. Well, good luck with that, Josh. It sounds like you... I mean, I don't know what you look like, but I doubt you look like Dean from Supernatural.
You sound like you're a pretty good looking
You
dude.
sound like a masculine guy for sure. But yeah, I mean, he's up there, isn't he? Fiona, who's your partner got the hots for? Or is this you?
This was me.
Oh.
So it was my ex. So it was Daniel Craig. Or is that Daniel Craig?
James Bond.
So much so that I changed my now ex-husband to his profile pic. So
Was that the downfall of the marriage? Is that when it started to drift apart?
Stop making me Daniel Craig. I am not 007. You're like at a restaurant. You're like, I'll have a prosecco and he'll have a martini, shaken not stirred. I just want a beer, for Christ's sake.
I'm thinking about getting divorced.
Oh, hush, hush, Mr. Bond. Okay, Madeline, this is your dad. That's a bit weird that you know who your dad has the hots for. Who is it?
Hey guys, my name's Madeline. I'm calling on behalf of my mum.
Mm-hmm.
My dad is in love with Madeline Stowe, and I got named after her, Madeline.
Oh, really? You got named after her?
So he loves this actor so much that you were named after her.
Yeah, so my name's now Madeline. My mum thought it was interesting, but she thought it was only fair because my older brother's name's Aiden after Aiden from Sex and the City.
All right, so your dad was more doing it for revenge, naming you after the. So if I had kids, I would have 50 Cent and Emma Watson. This is 50 Cent and Hermione. Yeah, they're my kids. Long story, yeah.
Ben and Liam is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au.